Imagine this. A man sees you walk into a room and suddenly his entire energy shifts. Not because of what you're wearing, but because of how you carry yourself, how you engage, and how you make him feel when he's around you. Here's what truly melts a man's mind. First, appreciation. Men are starved for appreciation. When you notice the little things he does, from fixing something for you to how he solves problems, and you tell him, "I love how you handled that," it hits him deeply. Appreciation is oxygen for a man's confidence. Second, mystery. The art of not revealing everything at once keeps him coming back. When he can't predict your next move or your next thought, he remains captivated, wanting to know more. Third, playful teasing. This isn't about sarcasm or cruelty, it's about creating a fun spark. Teasing him lightly about how serious he is while touching his arm creates a dance of masculine feminine energy he craves. Fourth, direct eye contact. Holding his gaze for a moment longer than usual sends a message straight to his subconscious. I see you, and I'm not afraid of what I see. That melts him. Fifth, confidence without arrogance. When you know your worth, when you don't chase or seek validation, it flips a switch in his mind that says, I need to step up to keep her. Sixth, gentle touch. A soft touch on his shoulder or chest when speaking with him feels intimate and comforting. It's a silent language that men understand powerfully. Seventh, your laugh. The sound of your genuine laugh is addictive to a man. It makes him feel successful in your presence and subconsciously builds his desire to be your source of joy. Eighth, passion for life. When you light up while talking about something you love, your work, your goals, your hobbies, he feels your fire and it makes him want to be part of your world. Finally, ninth, emotional safety. When he feels he can be vulnerable around you without judgment, his guard melts because the world expects him to be tough, but with you, he wants to be real. These are not manipulation tactics. They are truths about human psychology. When you embody them naturally, you create a powerful connection where a man's mind isn't just turned on, it's melted with admiration, attraction, and genuine desire to know you deeper. Men walk through the world carrying silent battles. Every single day they feel the weight of expectations to perform, solve problems, stay strong and remain unshaken no matter what storms hit them. From the outside it may look like they're solid and unbothered, but inside they crave one simple thing that they rarely admit: appreciation. Appreciation is not just a polite thank you or a passing compliment. It is the oxygen that fuels his confidence and his drive to keep showing up as his best self. When a man feels genuinely appreciated, he feels like he matters. He feels that his efforts are not going unseen. And the truth is, men rarely get this from the world around them. Whether he's leading a team at work, providing for his family, helping a friend move, or simply carrying heavy groceries in for you, the world treats his efforts as expected. There's a silent assumption that because he's a man, he should just do it, handle it, fix it, and get on with it. So when you, as a woman he admires, take a moment to show him that you see what he does, it pierces through all the noise of his day. Imagine this scenario. He fixes something for you, maybe your door lock or your car's wiper blade that wasn't working properly. You could easily say thanks and move on. But if you take a moment to look at him with softness and say, I really love how you just handled that without even thinking twice. I feel so safe with you. You've just melted his mind. Why? Because now it's not just about the task. It's about who he is to you. It's about him feeling like your hero, your protector, your safe place. Appreciation is powerful when it's not generic. A man knows the difference between thanks said out of obligation and appreciation said with intent. When you appreciate not just what he does, but who he is while doing it, you awaken a part of him that wants to keep showing up stronger for you. For example, if he's working hard in his career, instead of only saying, "I'm proud of you," tell him what exactly makes you proud. You can say, "I'm so proud of how dedicated you are to growing in your work. It's inspiring to watch how committed you are to your goals." This is deep appreciation. You're not complimenting the result. You're acknowledging his character and effort. That's what a man rarely hears and deeply craves. Appreciation also turns him on psychologically because it makes him feel chosen. Men want to feel chosen just as much as women do. When you notice his little efforts, his protective instincts, or the way he looks at you, it makes him feel seen as a man, not just as another person in your life. Appreciation can come in the form of words, touch, or your eyes lighting up when you look at him. Imagine you're out with him, and he opens the door for you or pulls out your chair. Instead of just walking through with a distracted "thanks," pause for a second, look into his eyes and say with a gentle smile, "Thank you. I love how you always take care of me like that." In that moment, he feels powerful. He feels like he did something meaningful. He feels like a man in the deepest sense. And that is what melts his mind. Because men spend their days trying to prove themselves to the world, but what they deeply desire is to feel significant to the woman they love or admire. Your appreciation becomes his fuel, his motivation, and his secret addiction. It's what keeps him thinking about you when he's at work, when he's out with friends, when he's alone late at night. Because the feeling of being appreciated by you is rare, powerful, and unforgettable. It sets you apart from every other woman who may just assume his efforts. He starts to feel that with you, he's not just a man doing things, he's a man becoming more of himself, because your appreciation gives him the confidence to keep rising, leading, and loving. He doesn't just want sex or physical intimacy. He wants to feel like the hero of your story, the man you see as strong, capable, and admirable. Appreciation does exactly that. Without games, manipulation, or exaggerated praise. It is pure truth spoken into his masculine spirit. And when he feels that truth, it doesn't just melt his mind. It builds a deep magnetic bond between you that becomes unbreakable in his heart and soul. Mystery is one of the most underestimated yet powerful turn-ons that can melt a man's mind without you saying a single seductive word. It's not about playing games or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about holding a part of yourself back in a way that keeps him endlessly curious. When a man first meets you, his attraction is sparked by what he can see, your smile, your energy, your presence. But what makes him stay up thinking about you long after you've left the room is what he can't see. It's the parts of you he senses, but doesn't fully understand yet. Many women feel they need to lay everything on the table quickly, so he knows who they are, what they want, and what they expect. They want to be open books, thinking that complete transparency will bring closeness faster. But the truth is, the fastest way to lose a man's intrigue is to remove the sense of discovery too soon. Men are wired to pursue, to hunt, to figure things out. If he feels like there's nothing left to explore, his mind naturally drifts elsewhere. Mystery keeps his mind hooked because it invites him into a story he doesn't know the ending of. Think about how you feel when you start watching a new show that hooks you from the first episode. You keep watching because every scene hints at something deeper, something you don't know yet but want to find out. This is how mystery works in attraction. You become that plot twist he can't predict. For example, when you're on a date and he asks about your life, don't feel pressured to pour out every detail. Answer with honesty, but leave room for curiosity. Instead of telling him your whole life story in one sitting, drop hints, give him pieces. Let him wonder where you've been, what you've done, what shaped you. Let him ask more questions next time. And don't feel you must share every emotion you feel about him right away. You can like him, you can want him, but you don't have to reveal the entire map to your heart in one night. Keep a part of your inner world for yourself, not because you're hiding, but because your depth is a gift someone must earn the right to unwrap, layer by layer. Mystery also lives in your body language, the way you look at him and then look away, the way you hold eye contact for a second longer than usual, then shift your focus, makes his mind spin. He'll wonder what you're thinking, what you're feeling. If you're as drawn to him as he is to you, that wonder is intoxicating. Small pauses in conversation, a playful silence, instead of filling every second with words, can be far more powerful than trying to impress him with constant chatter. The mystery is not silence out of awkwardness. It's silence that invites imagination. It's a spark that makes him replay your moments together in his head. It's your ability to be warm but unpredictable. Maybe you text him first sometimes, maybe you don't. Maybe you're available tonight, maybe you're busy living your life. This subtle unpredictability makes a man feel like he can't take you for granted. He knows you're present when you choose to be, but your world doesn't revolve around him. He has to step up if he wants more. He wants to earn more of your time, more of your stories, more of your mind. Mystery also means you have a life outside of him, passions, friendships, goals that light you up. A man's mind melts when he realizes you're not waiting for him to complete your life. Instead, you have a beautiful life he wants to be invited into. You share glimpses of it, but you don't hand him the whole picture until he shows he deserves it. Mystery is not about making him jealous or playing cold. It's about having enough self-respect to know that you are multi-layered, and not everyone gets every piece of you right away. That subtle distance pulls him closer, not because you're playing hard to get, but because you naturally are hard to fully get. Every time he thinks he has you all figured out, he discovers another side of you, another interest, another opinion, another dream. That's the secret to staying unforgettable. Many women fear mystery means being distant, but it's actually the opposite. You can be warm, affectionate, flirty, and inviting, while still leaving him wondering what else there is to know. It's the spark in your smile when you say, "Maybe I'll tell you next time," or the way you hold back just enough to let his imagination run wild. It makes him lean in, it makes him ask, it makes him invest, because a man's mind doesn't melt from what he gets handed on a silver plate. It melts from what he earns, what he uncovers, and what he feels lucky to discover that no one else does. Playful teasing is one of the most underrated yet powerful psychological turn-ons that can completely melt a man's mind. Most people misunderstand teasing as sarcasm or belittling humor, but true playful teasing is the art of creating tension, attraction, and spark without ever crossing the line into disrespect. It is the fine balance between making him laugh and making him think about you long after your words are said. At its core, teasing taps into a man's innate desire for challenge. Men are wired to enjoy playful challenges, whether it's in sports, their careers, or their romantic lives. When you tease a man in a light, flirtatious way, it activates the part of his brain that loves games and competition, but this time, the game isn't about winning a trophy, it's about winning your attention and your affection. Imagine he's telling you about how he dominated his friend in a video game last night. Instead of simply nodding and saying, "That's nice," you tilt your head, smile, and say, So you're good at video games, but are you good at anything real?" And then laugh lightly while looking away for a second. In that moment, He feels a jolt of playful competitiveness mixed with intrigue. You didn't insult him. You challenged him in a way that makes him want to prove himself to you in a deeper, more meaningful way. That is the beauty of teasing done right. It builds sexual tension without being sexual. It creates emotional tension without drama. It makes him feel alive in your presence. Teasing also works because it shows confidence. Many women fear teasing because they don't want to seem rude or arrogant. But when done with a warm tone, playful eyes, and a small smile, teasing becomes an intimate dance rather than an attack. It shows you are comfortable with him, that you're not afraid to push his buttons lightly, and that you trust his ability to handle your playful energy. For example, if he shows up late and apologizes sincerely, instead of giving him a lecture or brushing it off with, "It's okay," you can smile and say, keeping me waiting already? Dangerous move. Then wink or lightly tap his arm. This communicates your standard while keeping the energy flirty instead of heavy. He'll feel that he disappointed you slightly, but in a way that makes him want to rise to the occasion rather than avoid you. Playful teasing is also powerful because it creates inside jokes between you. If he trips on his words and says something awkward, you can gently tease him later with, "Careful, don't melt under the pressure," with a teasing smile. These little moments build rapport, connection, and a private world between you that no one else shares. Teasing done right also makes you stand out from other women. Many women only focus on complimenting men or asking about their lives. Compliments are beautiful and necessary, but teasing breaks patterns. It interrupts his day in the best way. While everyone else is polite and predictable, you are unpredictable in a fun, light-hearted way. Teasing keeps him emotionally on his toes. It makes him wonder what you'll say next, how you'll respond next time, and what it would feel like to be in your energy every day. It is also important to understand what teasing is not. Teasing is never about attacking his insecurities, belittling his dreams, mocking his failures, or insulting parts of him he's sensitive about. It's never about making him feel small so you feel powerful. That's not teasing, that's emotional immaturity, and it damages attraction. True teasing is rooted in respect. It is a light push, not a shove. It is a sparkle in your eyes, not a glare. It is a confident smile, not a smirk of superiority. When you master the art of teasing, you become the woman who is both sweet and spicy. You become the woman who is fun to be around, who brings out his playful side, and who makes him feel like a teenage boy with a crush all over again. Playful teasing also deepens connection because it forces him to be present with you. When you tease him lightly, he snaps out of his thoughts and into the moment with you. He wants to engage, to tease back, to play the game with you. And in that game, attraction blooms naturally. When you combine teasing with genuine affection and warmth, it becomes an unstoppable force of attraction. He will not only laugh around you, he will feel alive around you. He will start to associate you with the feeling of lightness, fun, and unpredictable excitement. And no matter how beautiful another woman is, or how sweet another woman is, it is the woman who makes him feel alive that he will never be able to forget. Direct eye contact is one of the most powerful psychological turn-ons that can melt a man's mind instantly. It is silent communication that penetrates beyond words, beyond gestures, beyond anything you could say to make him feel your presence. In a world where everyone is distracted, glued to their screens, avoiding true presence, eye contact becomes rare and unforgettable. For a man, direct eye contact does something that few other gestures can. It makes him feel seen, not just looked at, but truly seen. Most men go through life unnoticed. Women may glance at them, smile politely, or avoid eye contact altogether out of shyness or fear of sending the wrong signal. But when you hold a man's gaze directly, calmly, with warmth and subtle confidence, it ignites something deep within him. It triggers his primal masculine energy to rise, because eye contact is ancient. It's instinctual. Before humans spoke, before we knew language, eye contact was how we sensed trust, safety, interest, connection, and desire. When you hold a man's gaze a second longer than normal, it makes him wonder what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and what you want. It makes him feel that he has your full attention, and that feeling is addictive because it's rare. Think about the last time someone held your gaze without awkwardness, without looking away too quickly, and without scanning their surroundings while pretending to listen. It feels grounding. It feels magnetic. For a man, it feels deeply attractive because it shows your confidence. Confidence isn't just in how you walk or speak. It's in how comfortable you are meeting someone's eyes without needing to look down or away. It communicates, I see you and I'm not afraid of what I see. That message melts his mind because it speaks to a part of him that craves acceptance and feminine openness. Direct eye contact can be playful, seductive, soft, curious, or challenging. Each style creates a different psychological impact. A playful gaze with a small smile makes him feel teased and engaged, wanting to know what's on your mind. A seductive gaze, where your eyes soften and you look from his eyes to his lips and back to his eyes, sends a rush through his body that no touch could match. A soft gaze, where you simply hold eye contact with relaxed eyes while listening to him speak, makes him feel safe and understood. It calms his nervous system and draws him into your energy. A curious gaze, with eyebrows slightly raised and a tilted head, makes him feel interesting and important. It shows him that you're genuinely listening and wanting to understand him deeper. And a challenging gaze, where you maintain direct eye contact when saying something assertive or teasing him lightly, activates his competitive masculine side that wants to rise up to meet your confidence. What makes eye contact so powerful is its vulnerability. When you look away too quickly or avoid his eyes altogether, it signals that you're uncomfortable, unsure, or trying to hide something. But when you can hold his gaze without force, just calmly and openly, it shows self-security. It shows him that you're not intimidated by him or desperate for him. You're simply present with him. That is powerful feminine energy. Direct eye contact also creates intimacy without physical touch. You could be sitting across a table from him and holding his gaze with a relaxed smile, and he will feel closer to you than if you sat next to him, touching his arm while avoiding his eyes, because intimacy is built through presence, and nothing signals presence more deeply than eye contact. When you look into his eyes while he speaks, nodding softly, he feels respected. When you hold his gaze while teasing him lightly, he feels challenged and drawn to you. When you maintain eye contact for a moment after saying something sweet, then look away with a smile, it creates a burst of excitement in his chest because it feels like a secret moment shared only between you and him. The power of eye contact is also in its ability to silence his mind. Men think constantly, they strategize, plan, analyze, and solve problems all day. But when you hold his gaze with soft, unbroken contact, his thoughts pause. For a moment, there is nothing but you and him in that bubble of connection. That is why so many men fall for women who can hold eye contact. It feels like coming home to a place of peace, feminine warmth, and quiet intimacy in a chaotic world. It is important to note that direct eye contact is not about staring aggressively. It's not about forcing your eyes open wide or trying to dominate him with your gaze. True direct eye contact is relaxed. Your eyes are soft, your face is calm, your body is open. It is about letting him feel your feminine energy through your eyes, not attacking him with them. When you combine eye contact with a gentle smile, a small tilt of your head, or slightly biting your lip before looking away, it becomes unforgettable. Men remember these moments. They replay them in their minds later when they're alone. They wonder what you were thinking. They crave to see that gaze again, because while other women may look at him and look away quickly out of nervousness or insecurity, you become the woman whose gaze lingers, the woman who isn't afraid to let him feel her presence fully, even for just a few silent seconds.